I felt like him. And hello, it's Fo, and welcome back to Turbine City. Last time we were popping in a few more assets into our level 4 university. Hopefully we're going to get that all the way up to prestigious, up to level 5, before we hit the 500,000, or round about it. Nice way to sort of tie off the campus DLC stuff. I'm going to try and get in maybe a couple more libraries, because that's extra chances for the citizens to become educated. It's an opportunity for us to sort of reduce the amount of commercial zoning we've got going on, where the simulation's fallen apart. A lot of the commercial properties are being abandoned, so I'm going to try and replace a lot of the commercial zoning, mostly where the buildings have already left and been abandoned, but generally just into the commercial areas. We can tuck these public service buildings in and try and increase the happiness and the appeal of the city. Make sure we've got a really good coverage for all of the available public services. And the libraries, as I say, they don't have very good radius. Their sphere of influence is rather small. They do give bonuses if they're nearby schools, but otherwise I think they're just available for local residents to come in, and there's a chance that the visitors to go up an education level, so they can become sort of well educated or highly educated. Yeah, I would love it if the radius was bigger. But hey, if it wants us to put in loads and loads of them, why not? There's certainly not that many public libraries here. Certainly not one in every little neighbourhood. Maybe there should be. Maybe the game's trying to make a stance. Get a few more in where we can. Fit one in nicely along here somewhere. This lovely hill. Yeah, hopefully we'll get the education level up. We can have a look at schools themselves as well. Check on our high school coverage. Yeah, we are several schools behind. We could sort of calculate the capacity and see exactly how many we need, but we'll try to pop them in where it's sensible. On the edges of our zoning, our residential areas. I'd like to get it over here, but it's not going to fit either side of the highway. Let's find a good space for it as best we can, just to increase the coverage and the capacity for students. We won't see the capacity go up until we restart the simulation. So we'll pop a few more in. And when we restart the simulation, we should see all the numbers jump up. We'll see if it's enough to get us at least back into the yellow, if not back into the green. Our guide up in the top left. We'll just try and position schools. We can have a look at the elementary schools as well. Start the simulation and see how far it jumps up. See if it gets back in the yellow. Yeah, we're not that far behind now. Maybe one or two schools behind. So we can pop in an elementary school. And we seem to be maybe even slightly further behind in terms of our capacity for school children. So we'll try and get a few of these popped in where we can. They're fairly small. See if we can find little neat spaces for them. Try and get them them on the larger roads, obviously, for best access, so all the local kids can get there. Don't know if the range is as the crow flies. It looks like it when you place it. I like to think if you put them on the main roads, it's going to be better access. It's going to be easier from every which direction for all the parents in their minivans and oversized vehicles who are taking their tiny children to the elementary schools. Once we've got the decent coverage for elementary schools, we'll probably have to look back at the high schools again. It'll increase the amount of eligible students there. Use up some of the space that's been left behind by the buildings leaving, rather than having to disturb an existing business. Probably all on the way out, but don't really want to contribute to the abandonment of all buildings. I'm thinking if we replace the zoning with buildings and maybe car parks or something, we'll be adding services and reducing the expectation of where everything's going to grow back in. Let it run through the night. Our population growth is starting to pick up again. I haven't covered the entire city for fire. It's not quite as good as it could be. With a 30% hazard, I think we could knock that down to about 20. Ideally it would maybe be about 10 or in the teens or something. But we do have a lot of trees. I think if you have the Natural Disasters DLC, you can place these sort of firefighting helicopters, and they're able to get to the trees, and that enables, sort of turns on the possibility for the trees to catch fire. Because we don't have the Natural Disasters DLC, there's no chance for our trees to catch fire, the ones that we're popping in with the tree brush. Perhaps the ones in our forestry industry area, those specific sort of sapling fields and things, they could catch fire. But you can see where we've got trees around our turbines and things, it shows up red. That contributes to the negative numbers in the calculation of our fire hazard across the city. Try and get some things in, but there's no chance that the trucks could ever get to those trees, so there's no chance they can go on fire, which all makes sense. It does make the city look more of a hazard than it actually is. So we'll do what we can, try and get this hazard number down, get a sort of higher approval for our fire safety. I don't think we're going to ever extend this road out to get more zoning. We want less zoning, so we're fairly safe to use that space now. And we've got a few places. If we're not going to put them on the large roads, we could maybe use the smaller fire station. We'll try to find places where we can put it on the larger roads and use the larger station. They have more fire engines available, and that in turn makes the coverage just automatically better. So we'll get one over here somewhere. That'll hopefully cover the airport. Yeah, there we go. Maybe look at covering our ferry ports as well, our ferry stops. We can can maybe use the smaller firehouses for that. Yeah, this area of industrial isn't doing very well at all. But it's still about half full. It's not completely decimated yet. Well, at least try and keep them well covered for fire. The least we can do and sort of keep everyone happy. Keep them distracted as the city crumbles around them. Hopefully I have to replace something here, but oh well. More opportunities for it to grow back in elsewhere in the city. Maybe if enough places sort of shuffle around locations, we'll just luckily strike a better balance between the industrial and the commercial. Because right now it's still a bit of a disaster. Well, we're getting it down to about 24%. Not bad. Certainly getting our population growth number up again. People seem to be pleased with the increased fire safety. We can use a couple of the smaller firehouses. Just get them tucked in little spaces where the larger ones wouldn't fit. We'll try to get them in on the larger roads and cause minimal disruption. Maximum happiness for all the stuff round about. Fill up some of these gaps. Try and get all these slightly discoloured buildings up to a lovely blue. So hopefully get the ferry stop. There we go. And do the same over here. Try and get one tucked in here somewhere. I definitely don't need a disaster with the ferry on fire. I've never seen it. It must not be possible, but yeah, that would be a real disaster. You would think that being on water, it should just be able to do a roll, but I don't think ferries are capable of that. Police coverage is generally pretty good. Our crime rate's 5%, which is about as low as it goes, I think. But hey, we'll pop in another sort of large police headquarters. An opportunity to pop in a couple extra parks down here. Don't know if we've used these two yet. The basketball court and the tennis court. This is the last big area of residential, I think. So we'll make it nice and swanky. And then we can use the extra large park, sort of make up the difference. Get all the buildings up to scratch in terms of their happiness for leisure and parks around about. It's popped in down here next to the school. That should get them all. Yeah, there we go. Looks like we could fit something else in over here as well. It's not quite going to fit in. It's too wide. It's going to stretch over the city limits. Same on the other side. One popped in along the main road here. Use up some of this space. Get all them sorted as well. So yeah, little tweaks. I'll try and get this population back up. Seems so close, but without the demand constantly coming through and constant city growth, it's hard to say it's going in the right direction. But we're doing everything we can. And we can do a little work here on the roads while it's dark and I can see the lights. Maybe change this large road for a medium one. And if and when we get more residential demand, we're ready to sort of complete this block almost entirely with residential. It'll be easiest for us to pop in little roads, small roads across. I'd like to think that would be enough to fit another sort of 30,000 people in. And over this side we can maybe do some custom parks or fit in some of the unique buildings. I'll let it run. We're not really getting the residential demand back up again. It's just a tiny sliver. Don't really want to pop in any more houses, work on little roads yet, till I get more demand than that. I'm getting a little crime notification over here, so by all means we can top up the police coverage. Have a look and see if there's anywhere that we need to get more garbage trucks. Just by the discoloration. Try and fill up some more gaps. Get some of these little incinerators in. And if we know it's an industrial area, we can use the recycling centre instead. It's larger, but that's fine. It's got plenty of gaps. Yeah, there was a point it worked fine and everything was totally balanced. But the industrial need just disappeared and never came back. I don't know if that's because we overused the industry DLC assets, putting in our second areas, maybe overshadowed the generic industry. Whatever happened, the shops realised that they can't sell only oil and ore and timber products. People want actually more complicated products than the generic industry that would specialise in making these sort of things. Suddenly there wasn't enough of it. Who knows? Something terrible happened. There was like a recession. Loads of shops shutting down and presumably people losing their jobs. I don't know if there's just loads of people unemployed now. Don't really mind. As long as they're happy, they keep coming in and we make it to the 500,000. So my sole concern is sort of nursing the simulation over the finish line. Maybe try and fix the demand afterwards if I install the demand master. You can use some car parks to eat up some of the zoning, the commercial zoning. It'll help with the noise where we've got dense commercial next to light residential. That's a no-no for the sound. Maybe just de-zone some of the dense commercial and switch it out for residential instead. As long as it's not back to back with industrial, I think we're fairly safe to make that switch. As I say, it'll help with the noise being produced. You never know, we could get our 6 citizens number down as well. I think it is just noise pollution that's making them sick. I don't think we actually have any residential that's too close to industrial. I think this is going to be 90 if not 100% of our problem. We've got low density residential too close to the high density commercial. I think you don't always get an icon if they're a little bit sick. I think maybe you get an icon if there's several sick people in the household. But if there's just one sick person in each household, it maybe doesn't give you the notification. So it's not entirely obvious where every single sick citizen is. So yeah, we're gonna evict a few people, but only from the shops, not from their homes. I don't think that makes them as mad. I'm doing it for the benefit of the people in this low density housing. I think we're far enough away from the train track and the courthouse here still. Hopefully it'll mean that these shops, when there is a slight need for commercial, when they do grow back in, say they'll have less space that they're trying to fill back up again. So hopefully they'll be able to fill it back up again, and then we can see some more demand. I'll be at the point that sort of balances itself out again, if it's going to. I'm slightly optimistic. Not all the businesses seem to be running out of products, so if it is falling apart, it's falling apart slowly enough that we might still make it, or it might still sort of balance itself out at some point. I think we're right to keep on reducing the commercial more than the industrial. We can add in plenty more car parking. That is something that I think we're falling behind on. Something that we haven't really got everywhere covered with. So we'll get these things popped in and place our zone in. We'll bring this back a little bit just so the industrial isn't too close to the houses. Get an extra bit of distance. Hopefully that'll sort out the 6 citizens number as well. So just get a few more things in. You can see the shops running out of things round about, and a few gaps anyway, so I think I'm fine to replace a few shops with car parking lots. Maybe see if we can get one either side of the road down the end here. People come down and park next to the river. Be a nice place to come down and park your car. Again, it gets rid of the high density commercial. It could be causing noise pollution. So we'll find a few more opportunities to pop these in. Swap out some shops for car parks. Try and reduce the noise. Just de-zone this. Just little tweaks. We've managed to get almost up to the 480,000 mark now. So we'll come back next time and we'll continue tweaking away. Until then, take it easy. I'll see you in the next one.